Assalamu alaikum. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. This is Hina Aslam, MPhil scholar from Department of Physiology, Government College University, Faisalabad. I feel so honored to welcome to all dignitaries, guests, delegates with great joy and immense exultation. I feel privileged to extend my warm welcome to all presented here for the first International Brain and Biomedicine Conference, IBBC-2023. As this event aimed to deliver excellent teaching and scientific presentations across a broad spectrum of neuroscience field, with the key aim of making the content as accessible as possible. I am the moderator of this session, which includes different interesting talks related to the field of psychology, psychiatry, and neurosciences. So let's begin this session. For that, I'm going to start this session with our first presenter. For that, I would like to call Amna Fayaz from Bahri University, Islamabad. And her title of presentation is Illness Appraisal and Adherence Among Individuals with Diabetes, Role of Experimental Avoidance. Please welcome Amna Fayaz.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. I am Amna Fayal and I am a clinical psychologist affiliated with Delhi University, Islamabad. I am going to present my paper that is entitled as Illness Appraisal and Adherence among Individuals with Diabetes, Role of Experiential Avoidance. This work is co-authored with me by Dr. Shazia Yusuf, and she is also affiliated with Delhi University, Islamabad. I'll start with the background of the study. As we all know that from last few years, non-communicable diseases have been spreading rapidly around the globe, not just in one region. These disorders included the cardiovascular diseases, the respiratory diseases, hypertension, and diabetes as well. As per the statistics and data reports, Pakistan has been ranked fourth among other countries where most of the adult diabetes cases have been diagnosed. And if the you can say this statistics continues, it is predicted that by year 2045, Pakistan might rank third worldwide with more diabetes cases. Diabetes have three different types: type 1 diabetes, type 2 diabetes, and gestational diabetes. Type 1 diabetes is when the body produces little or no insulin that is required for the functioning, leading to hypoglycemia or hyperglycemia. Type 2 diabetes is when the body or the body cells doesn't respond to the amount that is present in these strips. And the gestational diabetes is diagnosed among women when they get diagnosed with diabetes after the pregnancy. It is known as the gestational diabetes. Diabetes as a lifelong stressor can impact not only physically but also psychologically, leading to different sleeping-related issues, distress, anxiety, depression, and eating disorders as well. The factor that can influence the occurrence or the presence of diabetes includes the illness-related behaviors like the perception, the evaluation they have regarding the illness scores, outcome, consequences, etc. The emotions and the thinking attached to them, their compliant behaviors, and the willingness to stay in contact with these thoughts and emotions and the actions uh, even though that might be negative or that might be distressing, but their willingness to stay in contact with those thoughts, those emotions, and those actions in order to cope with their condition. The purpose of the study was to investigate the presence of illness appraisal, adherence, and experiential avoidance among individuals with diabetes, to find out the relationship between illness appraisal, adherence, and experiential avoidance among individuals with diabetes. And the last one is to find out how illness appraisal predicts or influences the presence of adherence, as well as how experiential avoidance mediates or what sort of role it plays in the relationship between illness appraisal and adherence among individuals with diabetes. Definition of symptoms. Illness appraisal is basically defined as the individual's own understanding, individual's own perception regarding his or her medical condition, his or her illness. It not only involves the illness, but also the illness scores, illness outcomes, what sort of emotions they are having, what sort of outcome they are considering, that either it would be desirable, either it would be positive or negative. All of it involves in their perception, all of it involves in their appraisal of their illness, what sort of mental framework they have about their illness. Second is the adherence. That is basically the compliance they show to their prescribed guidelines, the prescribed medical guidelines, or the prescribed lifestyle, the healthcare practices, if they are showing the compliance or not. And the experiential avoidance is basically the unwillingness or the reluctance or the refusal of the individual to remain in contact with the emotions, thoughts, memories, and physical sensations that they find distressing, that they find negative, even though avoiding them can create a harm in the long run. Objectives include the experiential avoidance to find out the role of experiential avoidance in the relationship between other variables, to find out the relationship between these three variables, the influence of wellness appraisal on inheritance among individuals with diabetes, and to study the role of demographic variables. On the basis of these objectives, the hypothesis including the experiential avoidance will mediate the relationship between appraisal and adherence. There will be negative relationship between the study variables, and the appraisal will predict the adherence among individuals with diabetes, and there will be found differences in the levels of illness appraisal, adherence, and experiential based on the demographic variables. Then comes the methodology. First comes the measures. First is the demographic data sheet that included all the demographic variables that were suitable to be studied. Then the scale that was the brief illness perception questionnaire. It was 9-item scale. Second is the general medication adherence scale that was already in Urdu version, and it was 11-item scale. And the last one is the experiential awareness questionnaire that was a 15-item questionnaire, and all of the scale were reported to be having sound psychometric properties based on the literature. Sample was calculated using G-power and included 150 individuals. 71 individuals were with type 1 diabetes and 79 with type 2 diabetes. The inclusion criteria was to recruit individuals who were diagnosed with type 1 diabetes and type 2 diabetes and who were taking allopathic medications. On the other hand, those who were taking herbal medication or self-medication or with any other medical or psychological condition would not be included in the study. Ethical considerations were reviewed, permissions were taken from the administration to gather the data or to collect the data, and the individuals with diabetes were recruited voluntarily, and they were told that they can leave the study anytime if they want to. Results. First, the table showing psychometric properties of the study scales, and the results show that all of the scales were psychometrically sound to be used in the study, and it was also supported by the previous literature. This table is showing the interscale correlations of the study variables that show that illness perception was significantly negatively correlated with adherence, but positively correlated with experiential avoidance. And similarly, experiential avoidance was also significantly negatively correlated with medication adherence. This figure is showing the categories of brief illness perception questionnaire. There was one item that was open-ended, and on that item, most of the individuals reported that they considered that the natural factors were the actual cause of their illness, that included the heredity or genetic factors. This table is showing the regression coefficient or the influence of illness appraisal on adherence among individuals with diabetes, and the results showed that illness appraisal was significantly negatively predicting adherence. That means when their illness appraisal was negative, their illness perception was threatening, they were somewhat less involved in the compliance or their adherence attitude toward their treatments. This is showing the mediation or the role of experiential awareness in the relationship between illness appraisal and adherence, and the results showed that experiential awareness fully mediated the relationship between illness appraisal and adherence, as there was no significant direct effect of illness appraisal on medication adherence. That showed the significant role of experiential awareness in the relationship. This table is showing the gender differences, and the results showed that females were somewhat more involved in experiential avoidance as compared to males, and it was also supported by the previous literature. This is showing the differences on the base of type of diabetes, and individuals who were diagnosed with type 1 diabetes were having negative illness perception and were involved in experiential avoidance as compared to type 2 diabetes. This is showing the differences based on type of treatment. Similarly, those who were using or having insulin-dependent treatment were having negative or threatening illness perception as compared to those who were having a positive appraisal of perception. So the result shows that there was found a significant correlation between illness appraisal, adherence, and experiential avoidance. Similarly, illness appraisal significantly predicted negative or lower adherence among linear with diabetes, and experiential avoidance fully mediate the relationship between study variables. And we also found significant or somewhat significant role of social demographic variables that only study variables. So we can say that there was found a role of experiential avoidance and the impact of illness appraisal on adherence, and the type of illness, any type of treatment were also playing significant role in the presence and absence of the study variables. The limitation included that only self-report measures were used for the further future study that is required to use a qualitative research method so that we can gather in-depth data and also to conduct longitudinal studies. Only type 1 and type 2 diabetes were included, so it is recommended to also recruit individuals with gestational diabetes, and also more areas should be assessed to gather more data, and individual or the children with type 1 diabetes should also be included, as we in current study we also only recruited adults with type 1 diabetes. The study shows implications in the patient-practitioner collaboration, that how and why it is necessary to have a good interaction with your practitioner, and a good guideline is required from the practitioner for the patient to understand their illnesses, so that we can improve the coping strategies, and we can also improve the treatment and illness beliefs of the individual living with any illness. So these are the references. That's all. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Amna, for enlightening us. Next, I would like to call Hina Salim from Lahore Lead University, and her title of presentation is Psychosocial Correlates of Academic Achievement Among University Students, Mediating Role of Academic Resilience. Please welcome Hina Salim.
Assalamu alaikum. First of all, I introduce it myself. My name is Inasim. I have stood first in class MPhil psychology. Today, my presentation topic is that psychosocial correlate of academic achievement among the university student, mediating role of the academic resilience. Introduction: university failures and the university dropout phenomena may be happen due to the unique hazard factors or a dangerous situation causing intellectual and sensitive issues in a student personality. The current study investigate the psychosocial correlate of the academic achievement among the university student, and also examine the mediating role of the resilient between the career aspiration and student engagement in academic and academic achievement. Academic achievement is the measure of the enactment that the validation how well a person has done in the respect of sure the goals. Academic resilience means the students achieving good educational outcome despite the adversity. The career aspiration is a contract toward the silently shorter inside the two-word job prospective to relate to the such land themes, ideas, and visions that have been for often the tomorrow. Student engagement is a measure that the combine the educational involvement which the catching the participation positively the output it and out of the university. Literature reviews quoted from their research. All international and national literature is focused on the educational factor of the student academic achievement. Psychosocial factors are the correlate always the academic achievement for all the level of studies. Although the desired and essential for the academic achievement, academic gains can be lost if individuals are not resilient to setback, study pressure, and the other students. The experimental examine the hypothesis whether, but by the grade of 7, there has been in a defined correlation between the student ability and their career goals. Research objectives are there to examine the role of the psychosocial correlate academic achievements, academic resilience, and academic engagement and a career aspiration on academic achievement among the university student. To examine the role of a demographic variable, age, gender, incomes, and resident of academic resilience, academic engagement, and a career aspiration among the university student. Research hypothesis for their my research. There is a positive relationship of the academic resilience, academic engagement, and a career aspiration with the academic achievement among the university student. Academic resilience can be a factor on their predicting variable and academic achievement among the university student. Mediating role of the relationship between the academic engagement and academic achievement among the university student. The other mediating relationship between the career aspiration and the academic achievement of the university student. Academic resilience, academic engagement, career aspiration, and the academic achievement is likely to be availed by the gender, age, income, and residence of the university student. Hypothetical model represent for the 3 IV and 1 DV. Academic engagement, academic resilience, career aspiration is the indicator of the IV, and DV is the academic achievement. They are representing for their hypothetical model of analysis. That is a indicator for the method. Data collection was done by using the questionnaire. The 3 questionnaires are presenting academic resilience scales, engagement questionnaire, academic career aspiration skills. Research sample was the consisted of 200 university students, 100 men and 100 women between the age range of their 90 to 30 years. Participants enrolled in the undergraduate and postgraduate program were taken by. Data was collected from the Lahore and Bahawalnagar University, Pakistan. The data were collected using the SPSS-23. This is the study where the student that how they can perform well in academic by the developing certain characteristics and the student good academic achievement. It is necessary to develop the sense of accomplishment to open up of a chance to get the better job opportunity and secure their future. There study finding revealed that the favorable correlation between the academic success and academic achievement, engagement, career aspiration, and the academic resilience. Furthermore, academic resilience mediating the relationship between the career aspiration, student engagement in academic and academic achievement among the university student. Academic resilience, career aspiration, and academic engagement were the significantly varied by the gender, income, and student residence. Morely, the women show more academic resilience compared to the man, and students having good parental income were the better in academic achievement than those who were the low parental income. Other discussion here there, the significance of the psychosocial element in the student academic lives was highlighted by the recently study. The result of this research is point to be important for their teacher efficacy depending on their attitude toward the ensuring the university graduate have to efficiency and a trouble feeling free learning. It has been observed that the university students who are physicians and the respective may have more career aspiration and a student engagement as a result of the positive effect. Limitation and a suggestion. The current study investigation of the self-reported measure was utilized to collect data because the questionnaire was a lengthy and time-consuming burning to by the hand of the impact of the study. Finding the multi-method approaches hence been expected to employ in the future study. University students were taken in the present research to establish a deep concentration of their academic achievement and academic resilience. In the future study, academic motivation can be studied by the college student. Since data was only gathered by the Punjab, but the data was from their Pakistani provision and situation can be together in the future. Implications are the data study increase to the understanding of how to determine of the academic achievement. The present investigation will be useful overall the future study while also helping to advance and present understanding of their factors that will be initially considered. The present study will be helpful for their understanding that academic problem and academic achievement of the university student. Present study will guide the student regarding for they can be perform well in a study and becoming academically resilient. Thank you.
Thanks for being part of IBBC. It's time to call the third presenter of the session. For that, I would like to call Saida Farah Batul from Malir University, and her title of oral presentation is Does AI Suppressing the Human Cognitive Abilities a Longitudinal Study? Please welcome Saida Farah Batul.
Good day, everyone. This is Sayeda Farha Batul from Department of Psychology, Mali University of Science and Technology. And it is my honor to present in IBBC 2023 international conference with such great speakers. Without a further delay, I would like to present my study that is Does AI surpassing the human cognitive abilities? As we all know that artificial intelligence has been grasping the overall globe with its octopus limbs so quickly that we cannot even make or match the pace with it. Artificial intelligence has many applications ranging from voice assistant to image recognition to decision-making, algorithms, and autonomous vehicles. Although AI has made our lives very easy and convenient, it has greatly enhanced our quality of life in certain aspects, but there are certain concerns regarding its impact on human cognitive abilities. This particular study aims to investigate the effects of AI on human cognitive abilities. The purpose, as I've stated earlier, that we just need to get an idea or estimate or evaluate the fact that how badly it affects human cognitive abilities. The way that we have perceived, it's a cross-sectional study, it's a survey-based study, and we've recruited approximately 200 participants aged between 18 to 60 years, most of them, and we preferred that they must have been living in urban area of Karachi, and they must be using certain sort of AI technology on regular basis. Participants were recruited through social media and were asked to complete an online survey. The survey consisted of validated questionnaires and to assess cognitive abilities, including memory, attention, problem-solving, and decision-making. Participants were asked about their use of AI and other technologies, as well as demographic information and lifestyle factors. It's a very long study, and it's only a chunk that I'm presenting in this conference. Our results suggest that 69% of our population is a constant user of AI. Before even that, we need to understand that there's several applications, as I mentioned earlier, from Google Assistant to Amazon Alexa to now very recent ChatGPT. We are just constantly using it, and we are just, we do not even remember certain sort of information, a very common information that we used to, memorize a few decades back. So 69% of the population using AI, and 31% were the non-user or use it on occasion basis. The first test that we've opted and asked our participants to do was to memorize a list of words. It's a jumble of words, and they have to revise it or recall it after a certain period of time. So as you can see, 43% showed below 50% efficiency in this test. 40% shows 50% efficiency, and only 17% showed greater than 50% efficiency in memorizing words after a couple of questions. Second set of results or test includes verbal comprehension. We as a human being rely so much on these AI technologies that we can't even, until unless our mobile phone suggests the correct spelling, we cannot correct the spelling. Grammarly, ChatGPT, we are just on and on depending on those technologies. So 36% showed less than 50% efficiency, 42% shows 50% efficiency, and only 22% showed greater than 50% efficiency. Memorizing number, I recall it when I was young, and I remember my house number, my uncle's number, my mother's number, my father's number, everyone numbers. And now, as an adult, since I'm using a phone and the phone memory, I don't even recall my husband's number. So only 56%, 20% showed greater than 50% efficiency, 24% showed 50% efficiency, and 56% of population failed to show even 50% efficiency in recalling or memorizing numbers. In conclusion, though this is a non-neglectable factor that AI has significantly impacted human cognitive abilities, regardless of the fact, positive or negative. Or as we continue to develop and integrate AI into various industries and various aspects of life, maybe we could creating a monster, but still, if we use this process cautiously and carefully and consider the ethical implications, then use of AI, we can get more benefits and will minimize the potential risks. Well, many studies demonstrate the potential for AI to surpass human cognitive abilities. We need to remember that AI also has its limitations. For example, AI system can struggle with tasks that require common sense, reasoning, creativity, and emotional intelligence, which are all areas where humans excel. Therefore, it is unlikely that AI can completely replace humans in all cognitive tasks. Thank God we are human and we are the greatest creature of all. Thankfully, no one still, till yet, actually, no one can replace us, but we have to work on cognitive abilities in memorizing. We should not be dependent on any other aspects. We should not be dependent on such things. We need to build confidence. We need to build talent, and we need to sharpen our claws to fight this era of, and to survive in this era of artificial intelligence. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much for giving us that valuable site. Next abstract is going to present by Nadia Parveen from Women University Multan, and her title of oral presentation is A Qualitative Study to Explore the Mental Health Challenges, Coping and Support Among the Recent Flood Victims in DGK, Pakistan. Please welcome Nadia Parveen.
Assalamu alaikum. My name is Nazia. MPhil scholar, Department of Applied Psychology, Women University of Multan. My research paper is a qualitative study to explore the mental health challenges, coping and support among the recent flood victims in DGK, Pakistan. Introduction and background. Disasters are very common and they are associated with severe loss of property, community disruption, and hardship. Natural disasters, including flood, has great major impact on human life and land. Asia, due to its geographical location, considered one of the most prone areas which is mostly affected by flood. These disasters produce many adverse consequences as a result of loss of property, loss of land, lack of social support, damages of infrastructure, and also causes psychological disorder like depression, anxiety, PTSD. Studies on disorder and psychological disasters and psychological distress due to the flood, hurricane, earthquakes are limited. Literature review. Extreme weather conditions and depression may have a long-term influence on communities. The literature on mood problems. Following extreme weather linked to the climate change is extensive. For instance, we discovered serious depression symptoms in a quarter of people following wildfires, which is comparable with another study that's just a third of participants may have major depression. In a comprehensive analysis of flood events conducting globally, higher level of depression were discovered 2 years after the occurrence, while elevated major depressive symptoms persisted for 18 months after a wildfire. Gap in the study, the research was significant because previous studies conducted on psychological disorders that affect mental health and well-being of flood affectees, but emphasis was quite low on impact of perceived social support on mental health and well-being of flood affectees. In Pakistan, there are not enough research on flood affectees that focus on perceived social support and coping strategies and effects on mental health and well-being of flood affectees. Current study, the rationale of the study is all the studies were done on the mental health on flood affectees, limited studies present on social support. In this study, we focus on social support and coping strategies in flood victims, how they cope up from these trauma. Objectives: to explore the effect of flood on individual life and community, to investigate the relationship of exposure to traumatic event and subsequent event, onset of post-traumatic stress disorder in the population exposed to flood in the Pakistan, to determine the prevalence of stress, anxiety, depression, and most post-traumatic stress disorder among adults exposed to flood in the Pakistan, to explore the coping strategies and social support in the flood victims. The search question: what effect did the flood have on your life? How much damage did you have due to flood? How many casualties were there? Did you get any help due to the flood? Social assistance, financial assistance. After this incident, did your connection with the Allah become strong or weaker? Did you feel fear, anxiety, stress, depression at the thought of an accident? Where do you stand financially? What strategies have you adopted for the future due to flood? Methodology, population and sampling procedure. Participants were taken from 2 areas of district DGK, Basti, Kocha, Badani, Magrotha, Tausa Sharif, which is badly affected from flood 2022. Participants from 18 years to 40 years were taken using thematic analysis of qualitative research. In-depth interviews were conducted from participants, maximum 30 minutes per individual. We approach them in flood area by permission and giving informed consent. We take interview of 15 individuals in 2 different areas. Interview is conducted in Urdu and Saraiki for participant convenience. Interview is audio tape record and later transcribed into English. Instrument interview method was used for the purpose of data collection, for which interview guide was prepared with the help of the supervisor and by reading the related literature. Interview guide consists of 8 questions. Procedure: institution approval were taken from the relevant authority to collect the data. Then informed consent will be provided by ensuring participants to have their provided information confidential, and data will be collected by semi-structured interview through purposive sampling technique. The whole discussion was recorded in an audio device such as recorded and notes were taken and interview was fully transcribed in a next step. The participants were informed about the purpose of the study and every respondent was asked for their consent and all of them participated voluntarily for this research activity. The duration of the interview was 40 to 50 minutes. Inclusion and exclusion criteria: those who were willing allowed to participate included. Those who were between age 18 to 70 were included. Those who reside in the Multan were not included. Those who were not willing to participate was excluded. Below 18 year or above 85-year-old people were excluded. Residue of the thematic analysis. Under the thematic analysis, the transcript was studied repeatedly and different patterns were identified. These patterns were then organized into a number of themes and sub-themes, allowing for an in-depth understanding of personal perception of the respondent. Results: here are the 3 themes: challenges, support system, coping. Sub-themes: effects in life, financial loss, mental health, financial aid from the government, social or relative support, and religious coping. Effects in life: we have never experienced so much rain, water, flood. The disaster were never seen in life. See the 50 feet hole in the ground, and guess what? Now this land is not suitable for growing the crops to a land or a house. Everyone's land was next to each other. Mine was 3 acres of land. At the time, the price of one bigger is about 10 to 15 lakh, which I have lost about 60 lakh. My house has been destroyed. Conclusion: the finding of the current study focus on challenge faced by the flood victims and focus on the coping strategies in flood victims, how they cope up with the trauma. In Pakistan, there are limited studies present on flood situation, mental health risk, coping, social support. The current study finding has revealed that flood had impact on the life of flood affectees. They have lost their crops, land, house. Flood has also impact on their mental health like depression, anxiety, stress. They receive social support and use coping strategies like religious coping on believing Allah's existence to cope up from this trauma. Limitations: population is rare and size of population is small. Research finding cannot be generalized the finding to the whole population of the flood affectees. Limited research literature on social support and religious coping related to well-being and positive mental health of flood affectees. Suggestions: the future research should be conducted on large sample so that better generalization may be made. More areas should be increased in the research. Participants should be taken from other areas which is affected by the flood. Sample size can be increased to the other sides of the Pakistan. Several social factors or behaviors should be selected by future researchers to explore more positively among flood affectees. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much for sharing your immense knowledge with all of us. Next presenter, which I'm going to invite, will tell us more about evaluating the hepatoprotective potential of flavonoid against cypermethrin-induced hepatotoxicity in mice. Please welcome Amara Zaman from University of Veterinary and Animal Sciences.
I'm Amara Zaman from University of Veterinary and Animal Sciences, Lahore, and the thesis abstract which I'm going to present today is evaluation of hepatoprotective potential of flavonoid against cypermethrin-induced hepatotoxicity in mice. Cypermethrin is an insecticide that is being used to kill insects on crops as well as in households. It is said to be less toxic, but it has a lipophilic nature, so it persists in plasma membrane of the cell, and it accumulates there and causes harmful effects. So it mainly affects the liver, as liver is the main site of detoxification of harmful substances. And as we already know, the flavonoids have a lot of beneficial health effects. So here I use this flavonoid troxyrutin, which is the only known water-soluble flavonoid, and it is naturally present in Japanese pagora tree. This particular flavonoid has never been used against cypermethrin-induced hepatotoxicity in mice. So objective of my study was to determine the effects of flavonoid on body weight, relative liver weight, liver histology against cypermethrin-induced toxicity in liver. So here's the experimental design. I took the 28 adult mice and divided them into 4 equal groups, and each group having the 7 mice. Group A, which was my negative control, was giving normal saline orally for 20 days and normal saline intraperitoneally at day 21. Group B, which was my positive control, was giving normal saline orally for 20 days and cypermethrin intraperitoneally at the day 21. And the group C was given troxyrutin 150 mg per kg body weight for 20 days orally and cypermethrin intraperitoneally at day 21. And group D was given troxyrutin at 300 mg per kg body weight orally for 20 days and cypermethrin at day 21. It was I gave only 1 acute dose of cypermethrin to observe the protective effect of troxyrutin. Okay, at the end of the trial, blood samples was collected and stored at -20 degree. And for the liver histology, I kept my liver samples in 10% neutral buffer formalin. Okay, the parameters of my study was to were body weight, relative liver weight, liver enzymes, ALT, AST, plasma proteins, total protein, albumin, and globulin, and liver histology. So all data were analyzed on its basis. Here are the results. Sorry. Effects of cypermethrin and troxyrutin on body weight of mice. Here we can see the before body weight before giving cypermethrin in all groups and after giving cypermethrin. So I took the after weight after 24 hours of giving cypermethrin. As we can see, there is no significant difference between the group before and after giving cypermethrin, as it was an acute dose and it didn't really affect the body weight significantly within a day. So. And same goes for the relative liver weight. There was no significant effect of cypermethrin and troxyrutin on relative liver weight as well. Here's the effect of cypermethrin and troxyrutin on ALT level. Here we can see the group A, which was my negative control, has a normal ALT level. Group B, which was my positive control, have a very high ALT level as liver cells were damaged too. And group C and D, which both were given troxyrutin at 2 different doses, they both tried to attempt to lower the ALT level near to normal. So they both significantly affect in this case. And here the effect of cypermethrin and troxyrutin on AST level. Group A, which was my negative control, has a normal AST level, and group B has a very high AST level as it was giving cypermethrin and cell was damaged. Group C didn't show really a significant effect, and group same goes for group D, but it which was given group D was given 300 milligram per kg body weight troxyrutin. It tend to take the AST level to near to normal, but it was not significant too. And as because it was an acute single dose, so it didn't really affect the total protein level also. So there was no significant difference between total protein level between all the groups A, B, C, and D. And same goes for globulin and albumin. Here the results of histology of histology of liver, and here's the group A, normal, my negative control group, and it has normal shape and size of hepatocytes. But group B, which was not given troxyrutin and only the dose of cypermethrin, it has very damaged cell of hepatocyte, as we can see two arrows. As I have already mentioned, the cypermethrin is lipophilic in nature, and it can attach or accumulate within the cell membrane and cause damage. So cell membrane when damaged cause inward movement of water, which cause ballooning degeneration. Here we can see the damaged ballooning degeneration, which cause spaces within the hepatocytes in group B. Group C and D both are relatively less, show less degeneration, ballooning degeneration relative to group B. These two groups hepatocytes are not near to normal, but it's less damaged than group B. So it means that troxyrutin on both doses did effect here. So here's the conclusion of my study, that the oral supplementation of troxyrutin is helpful at some extent in alleviating the cypermethrin-induced acute hepatotoxicity by improving the liver enzyme and histology. So yeah, the suggestion of my study is that further studies are required to determine the optimum dose of troxyrutin and to fully understand its molecular mechanism involved in the hepatoprotection. As in my study, it was not clearly, can be observed which dose affected better for it. So we need further studies for that. And that's all for my presentation. Thank you.
Thank you so much for your invaluable research. Now it's time to encourage the spirit of the next researcher. For that, I'm going to invite Aliza Mehdiuzzaman and her title of presentation is Identification and Antimicrobial Susceptibility Profile of Escherichia coli Isolated from Quail Feces. Please welcome Eliza Mehdi-Zaman from University of Agriculture, Faisalabad.
Assalamu alaikum. My name is Aliza Mehdi Al Zaman. I am a postgraduate student from the University of Agriculture, Faisalabad. And today I want to share some slides about you. My presentation topic is the isolation and identification of E. coli from the quail feces. My presentation topic is identification and antimicrobial susceptibility profile of E. coli isolated from quail feces. First of all, I want to share with you some contents. I'm telling you the introduction, objectives, methodology, and conclusion. Introduction. The Japanese quail is a small nesting game birds, belong to the family Phasinidae, order Galliformes, prefer open country and brushy borders. In Pakistan, Japanese quail has been raised in captivity for many years. Population of the Japanese quail are known to mainly inhabit East Asia and Russia. The Japanese quail has played an active role in the lives of humanity since the 12th century and continues to play a major role in industry and scientific research. Quail breeder terms are the major factor of the livestock which aims to serve the poultry sector, quail birds demand in Pakistan. In Pakistan, suburban and rural areas like Rawalpindi, Multan, Karachi, Lahore, Sakhar, Bhagalpur, Peshawar, and other big cities of the country are recommended for starting a layer of hatcheries of quail bird. Now, I'm telling you about E. coli. What is E. coli? E. coli is a bacteria that typically found in the lower intestine of warm-blooded animal. It may also contain in some animals' gut. Most strains of E. coli are safe and even support the health of human digestive system. Now, the growth conditions of E. coli. E. coli grow optimally at 37 degrees centigrade under aerobic condition, can live in hotter and colder temperature. Best conditions are warm, moist, and protein-rich environment. That's pH neutral or slightly acidic is the favorable condition for the growth of E. coli. Now I'm telling you the antimicrobial resistance. What is antimicrobial resistance? Occurs when bacteria, viruses, fungi, and other parasites change over the period of time, show no longer respond to medicines, making infections harder to treat, increasing the risk of diseases separate, serve, illness, and even death. Misuse and overuse of antimicrobials are the main drivers in the development of drug-resistant pathogen. Here is a diagram through which I'm telling you the antibiotic resistance. In this first step, there are a lot of germs and few are resistant to antibiotics. Can you see? In the second steps, when antibiotics kill bacteria causing illness, they also kill good bacteria, protecting the body from the infection. In the next step, the antibiotic resistant bacteria grow and take over. And last one, some bacteria gives their antibiotic resistance to other bacteria, causing more problems like diseases. Objectives are the isolation of E. coli from the fecal samples of quail bird and antimicrobial susceptibility pattern of E. coli. Now, the materials and methodology. Fecal samples will be collected from different areas of Faisalabad like Jhang Bazar and the ground. Samples will be cultured overnight in nutrient broth at 37 degrees centigrade. Then will be cultivated on McConkey agar for 24 hours at 37 degrees centigrade. Suspected colonies will be picked and will be cultured again for pure colonies. Biochemical tests such as catalase test, nitrate, broth test will be performed for the confirmation of E. coli isolations. Now, I'm going to telling you about the antimicrobial susceptibilities or antibiotics that I have to apply on my research. E. coli isolated from quail will be tested for the susceptibility to 5 antimicrobial agents. These are ampicillin, ciprofloxacin, colistin, and chloramphenicol. Disk diffusion method will be used. Molar hinted agar plates will be incubated abocally at 37 degrees centigrade for 18 to 24 hours. Their zones will be appear with clinical laboratory standard institute guidelines. And the last one is my conclusion of this research. Humans consume quail bird meat and it creates a public health problem due to antibiotic resistant character of E. coli. Because of antibiotic resistance, the treatment of the quail bird diseases is complex. Proper control measures should be taken urgently against antimicrobial resistance of the bacteria soon. Thank you so very much.
Thank you so much for sharing your views with us. Now it's time to call the 7th presenter of the session. For that, I would like to call Areej Atiq from Kohart University of Science and Technology. And her title of oral presentation is Molecular Analysis of Sequence Variants of Hereditary Psychosis in Families from Kohart region. Please welcome Areej Atiq.
Assalamu alaikum. It is an honor to me to join the International Brain and Biomedicine Conference organized by the Department of Physiology, Government College, University, Faisalabad. My name is Areej Atiq from Kohart University of Science and Technology. I belongs to the Department of Biotechnology and Genetic Engineering. My topic of presentation is molecular analysis of sequence variant of hereditary ichthyosis in the family from Kohart region. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. These are the content of my presentation, which includes introduction, methodology, references, results, conclusion, hypothesis. Basically, ichthyosis is skin genetic disorder, which is caused by the mutation in different genes known for the keratinocyte differentiation or epidermal barrier function, which may lead to the ichthyosis. Usually, इसमें एक जीन इन्वॉल्व नहीं होता, इसमें different type of genes are involved है. जिस किसी एक में भी म्यूटेशन के रिजल्ट में different type of ichthyosis cause होती हैं. The symptoms of ichthyosis may include permanent extension of dry skin, outgrowth आ जाती है, usually skin के ऊपर outgrowth आ जाती है, rough होती है, itchy होती है, dry होती है, redness आए होती है, cracks आए होते हैं, erythema होता है, sometimes periodontitis in rare form also cause. Forms of ichthyosis, there are two forms of ichthyosis. One is syndromic form, other one is non-syndromic form. So non-syndromic form and syndromic form, ये दोनों different types of forms of ichthyosis हैं. सिंड्रोमिक फॉर्म में क्या होता है, एसोसिएटेड सिम्टम्स होते हैं, एक सेट ऑफ सिम्टम्स होते हैं विच आर इन्वॉल्व. सिंड्रोमिक इक्थायोसिस इंक्लूड सेरेब्रल डायजेनेसिस, न्यूरोपैथी, इक्थायोसिस केराटोडर्मा सिंड्रोम, ichthyosis prematurity syndrome, neonatal ichthyosis, sclerosing cholangitis syndrome, Neurethral syndrome, neutral lipid storage disease, peeling skin syndrome, Sjögren Larsen syndrome. ये सारे नाम जो है syndromic form of ichthyosis के. Non-syndromic form of ichthyosis also include autosomal recessive congenital ichthyosis and ichthyosis laminaris circumflexa. जिसकी जो प्रिवेलेंस है इस डिजीज की, ये बहुत रेयर डिजीज है. वह ये बहुत ही कम डिजीज पाया जाता है. दैट इफेक्ट 1 out of 200 पीपल. हाइपोथेसिस में क्या आते हैं? हाइपोथेसिस इन पाकिस्तान इज द लार्जेस्ट, 5th नंबर पे लार्जेस्ट कंट्री है इन द वर्ल्ड में. एंड KPK जो है पाकिस्तान का प्रोविंस है जिसमें हाई रेट है कजन मैरिजेस की. एंड कोहाट बेसिकली कोहाट डिस्ट्रिक्ट का कैपिटल है. तो ये प्रोवाइड करता है आइडियल इन्वायरमेंट फॉर द स्टडी ऑफ जेनेटिक डिसऑर्डर बिकॉज ऑफ हाई रेट ऑफ कंसिजेनियस मैरिजेस. Cohort also provide an ideal environment for the study of genetic disorder, as well as this study is designed to identify and analyze sequence variant responsible for hereditary ichthyosis among families of the cohort. रिसर्च के जो मेरे ऑब्जेक्टिव थे, टू ascertain families with hereditary ichthyosis from cohort region and to link the sequence with the pathogenicity of the disease. मेथोडोलॉजी के जो स्टेप्स थे उनमें सबसे पहला स्टेप था, मैंने क्या किया कि इंडिविजुअल्स जो थे उनसे कॉन्सेंट फॉर्म साइन करवाए थे, उनके इंटरव्यू लिए थे. देन व्हाट वी did on the basis of their family history, मैंने पेडिग्री कंस्ट्रक्ट की थी, ब्लड सैंपल्स कलेक्ट किए थे. देन फ्रॉम द ब्लड सैंपल्स आई एक्सट्रैक्टेड जीनोमिक DNA. Then these samples go for the whole exome sequencing and data analysis, फिर उसकी PCR amplification की, and then Sanger sequencing. Results for the current study, 2 family A and B were selected from the cohort region. These are the pedigree of family A. इसमें 2 of individual are affected. And this is the result of the family A whole exome sequencing data analysis hai. As we can see, ABHD5 gene which is involved for the making protein which turn into enzymes and play important role in the breakdown of fats in the result of mutation. इसमें क्या हुआ कि at cDNA position में 337 पे guanine change होता है into adenine, and protein position पे glycine 113 पे change होता है into arginine, which is responsible for the non-bullous congenital ichthyosis. And then what we performed was Versome search engine पे variant search engine है, उस पे हमने mutation test की थी, variant test किया था. And this is the pedigree of family B. And इसमें भी 2 individual affected है. And this is a gene which is responsible for the diseases, urose gene, where at the position on the cDNA level 7, at the position 7, जो कि बहुत ही start में guanine is changed into thymine, and protein position पे valine is changed into phenylalanine at position number 3. And urose gene जो है it is important. It is important for the production of heme, and heme is an important vital molecule for our body for oxygen carrying. It's an oxygen carrying molecule. On mutation in this gene is also responsible for the ichthyosis. देन हमने म्यूटेशन टेस्टर पे एनसिग्नो एनालिसिस की थी, प्रिडिक्ट किया था डिजीज कॉजिंग. इसकी समरी है, वी कैन सी देयर. इसके आफ्टर दिस हमने सैंपल्स भिजवाए हैं सेंगर सीक्वेंसिंग के, उसके पीसीआर किया था, उसके बाद सेंगर सीक्वेंसिंग के लिए भेजाए थे, जिसका रिजल्ट अभी तक मेरे नहीं आए। इन फ्यूचर मेरे रिजल्ट आ जाएंगे। फ्रॉम इस रिसर्च से मैं कंक्लूड करती हूँ कि from above study we conclude that the different genes are involved in the ichthyosis which cause the different type of ichthyosis and mostly cause of genetic disorder। पाकिस्तान में high rate of consanguineous marriages है। As we know, ichthyosis के इस ichthyosis का क्योर नहीं है, but what we the goal is to achieve, the goal is to we can minimize the itching, minimize the redness of the skin by applying different ointments and different lotions, कि हम उसके जो स्किन का मॉइस्चर लॉस हो जाता है उनसे वो रिगेन हो सकता है। इसके थ्रू हम वी कैन ओवरकम दी symptoms of the ichthyosis। Thank you so much. And these are the references of my research. This is my research presentation, and this is all about my research. Thank you so much.
Thank you for sharing your research work with us. Now it's time to call the last presenter of the session. For that, I would like to call Yusra Salim from University of Karachi. She will share her views on Alive Biofeedback for Insomnia, a pilot randomized control study. Please welcome Yusra Salim.
Good day. I feel honored to have the opportunity to present my research work today through the platform of International Brain and Biomedicine Conference. Hello everyone, this is Yusra Salim. I will be presenting my study on Alive Biofeedback for Insomnia. It is a pilot randomized controlled study. Let me first give you a quick overview of what is insomnia. Insomnia is a sleep disorder characterized by difficulty falling asleep, staying asleep, or both. It can also include waking up too early or not being able to go back to sleep. Insomnia can cause fatigue, irritability, difficulty concentrating, and impairment in social, occupational, or other areas of functioning. It can be acute or severe depending upon the duration. There are several treatments available for insomnia, such as cognitive behavioral therapy, medication, relaxation exercises, etc. So moving onwards, what is biofeedback? Biofeedback, a technique that provides individual with a real-time biofeedback on their physiological responses. In the context of insomnia, biofeedback can improve sleep quality and reduce symptoms by regulating breathing patterns and reducing stress levels. Alive biofeedback specifically focuses on regulating breathing patterns and heart rate variability to promote the relaxation and improve overall health. So what were the objectives of our study? To investigate the effectiveness of Alive biofeedback in treating insomnia. It was our primary objective. And then to assess the effectiveness of Alive biofeedback in reducing the time it takes for individual to fall asleep, increase sleep duration, reduce frequency of awakening during the night, and improve sleep efficiency as measured by self-report. To assess the impact of Alive biofeedback on daytime functioning, including mood, cognitive performance, and activities of daily living as measured by self-report. For this study, we included 60 individuals aged greater than 18 years who were diagnosed with insomnia. Participants were then randomly assigned to either of the groups, that is Alive biofeedback group and the control group. Participants in the Alive group received 6 weekly sessions of biofeedback training using the Alive device. Interactive games, heart rate variability, and skin conductance were used for real-time biofeedback training. Participants were taught relaxation techniques such as deep breathing exercises, progressive muscle relaxation techniques, and others, and received the real-time biofeedback on their physiological responses. While the control group received no treatment. So what were the outcome measures? The primary outcome measure of the study were sleep quality as measured by the PSQI scale and the ISI scale, while the secondary outcome measures were self-reported sleep latency, sleep duration, frequency of awakening during the night, and sleep efficiency. The assessments were performed both at baseline and 6 weeks after the interventions. So the results are as follows. Participants in the alive group reported an increase in the duration of their sleep and a decrease in the frequency of sleep disturbances, such as waking up during the night. The participants in the control group reported similar patterns of sleep and quality at the beginning and by the end of the study. So there was no significant difference observed in the control group. Similarly, a significant improvement in the ISI insomnia severity index score was observed among the participants of the alive biofeedback group as compared to the control group. Hence, it is concluded from the study results that the alive biofeedback group is non-invasive and effective treatment for insomnia. These are the references. I'm truly blessed to have had the privilege of learning from such distinguished and dedicated educator. I would like to express my deepest gratitude to my mentors, Dr. Sadaf Ahmed and Dr. Shamoon Naushad, who have always supported and guided me throughout this academic journey. And thank you for your attention and patience.
Thank you for sharing your profound knowledge with all of us. Ladies and gentlemen, all the oral presentation has ended. I hope you all have enjoyed the amazing abstracts from different universities. Thank you each and every one of you for giving us your precious time, as it gave us highlight the importance and need for research, as well as the main priorities and gaps within neurology, which if addressed will have major impact on brain health. It will also become a source of awareness among people. So yeah, definitely it will be worth it. Thank you for understanding this intellectual health issue and being a part of IBBC. I'm thankful to all presenters deliberating in various fields of life sciences. All these constructive innovations gave us new perspective of significant advancement in this field. Thank you so much for your attention.